In the land of the Saskatchewan River, where the willow, mud and willow grow, there are numerous critters and characters of whom only God can know. The river hides plenty of stories of lore, but Wooden Tent has secrets galore. These legends are filled with fire and flame that can only be shared with a man of fame. So gather round, folks, and lend me your ear as I unfold a story that I hold dear, of an old Santa Claus man, jolly and full of cheer, but who caused many of husbands to live in fear. He was known to many as Old Bill. He was overweight, bearded, but not over the hill. He wore a plaid shirt and a cap with hair so white. He was a cook, a chef, a woodsman, a rogue, a knight. Ah yes, Sir William Bannock. His place of birth and age are unknown, but his spirits would make any man groan. His talents of cooking and writing gained him fame, so he became Bill Bannock by name. Bill Bannock writings caused English teachers to cringe and sent some poor newspaper people on an emotional binge. Bill shared his culinary secrets with pride. His wildlife recipes are published far and wide. Many a campfires have heard this story of Old Bill's tales of love and glory. His cooking caused some meals to be scary, but attracted one old lonesome Mary. Old Bill kept one step ahead of the hounds. He didn't want marriage like those other clowns, which caused Lonesome Mary some ups and downs, but enabled Bill to still make his rounds. The Opaskwa Times wrote of Bill's good life, of fishing, hunting, and cooking without a wife. Stories of lumberjacks of years ago, stacking cordwood row on row. In springtime, when there were the muskrats abound, the rat-tracking camps sprung up all around. The trappers were busy with numerous chores, I should think, but Old Bill had time to cook, and he may have had a drink. Anybody sleeping yet? Spring breakup came after the long spring days. The sun bounced off the marshes and created a haze. The tents were cold at night, but hospitality beamed. After a meal and stories, the trappers slept and dreamed. They dreamed of peace and serenity in the marsh, even though the land was cruel and harsh. Places like Pine Bluff, Wooden Tent, Hill Island, just to name a few. To Old Bill, these were nothing new. Old Bill wandered these places every year. He'd be trapping, hunting, or fishing at a weir. He'd be picking berries for a special recipe, and he was also known to pay a pat the odd maple tree. Old Bill was a Kloos for no other reason. He never took a moose for a duck on a season. He roamed the portages, rivers, and streams. Bill was a legend for this area, or so it seems. Many people came from near and far to seek wisdom from this backwoods star. A young man from Ottawa did search for Bill in vain. After several attempts, he came up empty again. Attempts to interview Old Bill were slow, even with the help of Pine Bluff Mo. The Ottawa man left in total disgust, because he could find no one who knew Bill that he could trust. Bill's recipes in escapades became well known. The numbers of readers and followers had grown. When asked about Bill, Henry Wilson said with a sigh, "I don't think I know this old guy." And they're both very good friends. On a hunting trip, Old Bill made a big batch of stew. To you people who know, this is nothing new. But the stew was so bad, you could only eat it on a dare, because when it was thrown out, it was refused by a bear. Even today, where moose hunters are still champs, the ghost of Bill Bannock must dance in their camps. Because today we never hear from Old Bill, and some of us, we hope soon we will. At festival time, you can hear the fiddle and the bow. All the pretty girls sit in a row. Old Bill would walk up, jig and prance, and ask all these young ladies, would you care to dance? Well, now, Old Bill knew there was no tooth fairy, so he became beware of Old Lonesome Mary. He knew he could not handle a woman's wrath, so Mary kept Bill on a straight and narrow path. So now Bill has dropped out of sight, but his memory is still his power and might. One wonders if Bill will pick up his pen, because many of you people want to hear from him again. So on a fall evening, when everything is still, should you see a silhouette on a portage or a hill, stop and look for a minute. It could be Old Bill. Ah, the old Bill Bannock. Seeing the hollowed walls of a trapper's shack, or a wisp of chimney smoke brings memories back of the history and the folklore of the Saskatchewan River, and as for us living mortals to our youth delivered. In closing the ballad that gives me a lift, I wish that people could receive this special gift. This may or may not be of God's will, that everyone could be touched by it. Author unknown. That's some of our folklore.